also is here in South Mountain, California, catching up with undefeated super lightweight prospect Luis Feliciano, 12-0 with 8 KOs. Luis, you're taking on Genaro Gamez. He's coming August 22nd at Fantasy Springs Casino main event. How's everything?
Everything's going great. I've been working very hard. Been doing a lot of rounds of sparring. Overall, I feel great. And we still got another, 4 or 5 weeks, so I feel great. I'm gonna, for me, mentally, this is like a world championship type of fight. Where I'm preparing as hard as I can. I'm focused. I'm locked in, and I'm ready to put on a great show.
Whose idea it is it from Golden Boy Promotions to put up 2 undefeated prospects going against each other at such an early stage in your career?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this was a fight that was actually has been potential. It could have been a potential matchup even earlier this year. It could have happened as soon as March, but I already had a fight lined up in Puerto Rico, so I felt like it was one of those type of fights where it was eventually going to happen. He was persistent about staying at 140, and so once I saw that this is a potential guy that's in the way. I wanna step to the next level, and this is the kind of fight that could definitely put me from prospect to contender, and that's how and I'm pretty sure he also had the same thoughts, and it felt my manager told me about it, and it fell through, and now it's on.
So you guys have been keeping an eye on each other's careers since you signed up with Golden Boy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Definitely, that's how it is. Anybody in your weight class, I feel like that's always gonna be something. Whether it's a weight class below you or a weight class above you, you're always looking at okay, this could be a potential matchup down the line, and it's always been the case. So yeah, so again, it's another guy at 140, and we look at it like, okay, this guy's in our way. Let's go after it, and we're, like I said, we're trying to make that next step.
Luis, it's been well known, well documented that he struggled making weight before fights, after the fights. What would be his biggest motivation to make weight on fight night and fight you?
Well, again, this is gonna be a great fight, and as I said, this is the type of fight that I think pushes you over from not only just prospect but to contender. Eventually to a fight to a world championship, and and it'll be one of those fights. It's gonna be a great fight. He even said it himself that he performs well under the lights or whatever. So hey, that's cool. I think it's gonna be a great night of boxing, and I really feel that he's gonna come prepared. He's gonna come ready, and that's only gonna make it better because I'm coming the same way. I'm coming stronger than ever, better than ever, and I want to make a big statement in this fight.
The main event at Fantasy Springs Casino, the place where you've had half of your professional fights, pretty much. You are developing a huge following in Puerto Rico. What does it mean knowing that all the Puerto Rican fans are following every move you make in your boxing career?
It's been huge. I mean, that's been something that I wanted since the beginning. I expressed it with my manager. I also expressed it with Golden Boy that I want to build a huge following in Puerto Rico. That's that's basically almost where I'm from. I'm very connected to the people over there, to my family. Most of my family's over there, and thankfully that's been the case. Half of my fights have been in Puerto Rico, building up my audience over there, and eventually we also want to do it the same thing in the East Coast. But it'll be step by step. First we got this. It'll be in Indio, and I'm pretty sure Gamez is gonna have his people there and audience. But I also have some people from Puerto Rico as well coming to attend the fight. And either way, I'm excited, and the people from Puerto Rico will be definitely tuning in.
So it's gonna be loud on August 22nd.
Oh, it's gonna be loud.
Puerto Rican fans, Mexican fans at Fantasy Springs Casino.
And don't get it twisted. I got my people from South Mountain too. They're gonna be there present. I've been out here training, representing South Mountain, fighting out of South Mountain, and for years now. And they'll, I have full support from them as well. So they'll be in attendance as well.
On your last fight, you stopped Fernando Carcamo in the 7th round. So 8 of your last 9 fights, you beat your opponent by KO. Do you think Genaro Gamez will be the following guy with a KO victory, or do you expect this guy to be an all-war and go the distance?
No, definitely. I mean, obviously, I know it's going to be a very competitive fight, but we're coming to win by knockout. Like I said, I want to make a big statement, and we already have a game plan in place. That's what we're working on, those things, and And yeah, definitely I want the KO. I want the KO, but most importantly is obviously get the win. But as I said, I want to not just win. I also want to make a statement, and with getting the win by knockout is going to be a huge statement.
You're the type of fighter, Luis, that breaks down your opponent. You study your opponents in the rounds during the fight. Do you see yourself putting an end to that fight once you know your opponent is about to not fight you anymore?
Definitely, I've always been that kind of fighter where, I study I try to be, I always say this, I might not be, by a fight night, I might not be the fastest fighter, I might not be the strongest fighter, but I will be the most smartest, the most intelligent fighter. And that's my plan going into the ring. So I always try to adjust to my opponent, what he's doing, and obviously break him down. And, I think that everybody that's at least seen me fight knows that I'm a good body puncher. I always attack to the body, and that's part of, it's always been with any opponent. It doesn't matter what style, it'll always be to break them down a body and eventually, go for the knockout. So that's the kind of fighter that I am, and yeah, that's I guess I said, I try to be the smartest fighter at fight night.
So you have the reach advantage and the height advantage on fight night. How pumped are you for this 22nd?
I'm very, very excited. This is, the biggest fight right now in my career. And I feel like I also have not only that advantage, but I just feel like I've fought, obviously I have more fights, more experience. I feel like I have I fought the better opposition throughout my career. And just overall, I think I'm the more skilled fighter. And me saying this is no way of me underestimating my opponent. I've known Gamez since the amateurs. Gamez is a very, very good fighter, very talented fighter. And I know, as I said, I know he's gonna come ready, because this is gonna be a big fight, and this could be a fight that defines us and takes us to the next step. So I know he's gonna come ready, but I feel like I have those advantages, and you'll see that come in play on fight night.
One name that means a lot to you, Israel Acosta.
Yes,
what does it mean? What does Israel mean?
That was my amateur coach. He's the one that eventually started me, and I came up through him in the amateurs. I had over 145 fights with him, won 5 national titles with him. He's like a second father to me, and I had the chance to go back home after my last fight and attend him. He got an honor from USA Boxing, and that was a special moment just to be there supporting him and also speaking on his behalf. It's a very important name for me, and I love him to death, and he's the one. I mean, without him, none of this would be possible right now. So I thank him for being there, and he still supports me. He always, I actually talked to him yesterday. We always keep in touch, and he's a special person in my life.
I'm gonna close this interview with a touchy subject, Luis. The boxing world, the sport of boxing lost one of its members this past weekend. Unfortunately, Maxim Dadashev lost his life after his fight with Subriel Matias. Your thoughts on this strategy and what it means to the sport of boxing? And the reason why I asked is because you fight on the same weight class.
It was, it's always a big, when something like that happens, there's always a big blow to the boxing community. I mean, everybody here in the boxing world, it's kind of like an inner circle. Everybody knows everybody. It's a small boxing world. And actually, very ironic. They actually called me. The Dashes people called me for sparring for that fight against Matias.
Did you go?
Unfortunately, I didn't go because I had the fight on June 21st.
Right.
So I was already kind of wrapping camp up.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. Like I said, it's the boxing world. Everybody knows everybody, and it's just horrible. I mean, and you just think of it, not only just the boxing aspect of it, but his family. He left behind with a son, a wife and a son, and it's just horrible. It's just horrible, and kind of those things affect not only just the people that are involved in the boxing world, but just people in general. Like just to see such a young guy, taken like that. It's very horrible. My prayers, my thoughts and prayers are with the family, and it's a devastating loss.
Yeah. And now, for all you fans, toda tu familia puertorriqueña allá en Puerto Rico, unas palabras en español para tu gente boricua.
Saludo a mi gente allá en Puerto Rico, los quiero. Estamos entrenando muy duro para esta pelea el 22 de agosto, va a ser aquí en Indio, California, en Fantasy Springs. La preparación va a estar fuerte y vamos por encima y a ganar lo importante. Gracias por el apoyo y nos vemos pronto.
Muchas gracias, te vemos pronto.
Gracias.
Luis Feliciano versus Genaro Gamez, ladies and gentlemen. Do not miss this fight. Fireworks, 2 undefeated prospects. It'll be on live, ringtvlive.com and Golden Boy Fight Night on Facebook. Thank you very much, Luis, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Thank you.